Hi everyone, the Mature Simmer here. Welcome back to Train Simulator 2022. So I'm here continuing my journey through Birmingham Cross City. I have also greatly expanded my route holdings, so I think I have an unlimited stream of things to do, plus I figured out how to add workshop scenarios, which I had done earlier. I just haven't tried any, but now I understand kind of their purpose, and it looks like there's a lot longer scenarios there, which is right up my alley of just always having kind of a storyline to follow. So there's plenty to come in regarding this title, because I'm definitely kind of heavily invested now. Dovetail had a pretty good sale here in March, and I've certainly taken advantage of that to stock up on things that caught my interest, and unfortunately, well, fortunately for Dovetail, unfortunately for my wallet, a lot of things caught my interest. So a lot of them are US based, so probably a lot of what I'll be doing is US in the mountains and so forth eventually, but my goal, I think, will be to get through the 3 original sets, which is Birmingham, Frankfurt, and Washington, D.C., and kind of focus on those to begin with before I start expanding out to others. So, and as I've started, I wanted to continue going through the Birmingham Cross City set of 6 here, so we're going to go ahead and work on up and down the valley here. So what it tells us is we're going to be operating train 2P11 from Redditch to Litchfield, Trent Valley on a wet morning. Traffic's starting to build up, and there are some TSRs in force due to ongoing track maintenance works. I had to go look this up. I didn't know what this was. It's a temporary speed reduction. I'm hoping once we're in the game it's going to tell us what that is. And they're saying timekeeping might be slightly difficult this morning. Good luck. So I'm assuming staying on time is a challenge. Alright, good morning, driver. Please prepare your unit for departure and release the doors to allow passengers to board the train. So I've done that. While you wait to depart, well, I've released the doors, but while you wait to depart, make sure the destination display is set correctly and check the timetable. There are some track works along the line with TSRs. Keep your eyes wide open. So I'm assuming it means this. Well, there is a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stops on this. It is a long scenario. It's 83 steps, so, or 83 minutes, not 83 steps. I think as soon as I turn this on, it's going to buzz anyway. Alright. Okay. Alright, so I think I'm all set. I need to figure out how I get my wipers running. I haven't run those recently. I think there's a button here. Yeah, there is. Okay. Maybe the wipers don't go until we're ready to move. I don't know. Alright, but I think we're all set. So I'm going to put myself in power 1. And if I look here, alright, so we got a little bit of a timeliness bonus. 7:16 is when we should be at the next place. So there we go, releasing, moving forward. Alright, why are my wipers not working? Clearly I'm going to have a problem here. So let me pause. Do I seriously have to? Oh, okay. Not quite sure what the deal was there. Alright. Well, let me be careful. Now that I have my wipers going, I can zoom out a bit. I don't know what happened there, but we can only go 30, so I do need to... Now, I don't know if these temporary speed reductions are going to show up on the map or not, so... Alright, I'm going to keep moving along, because 7:16 is when we needed to be there, and we're at that high end, so talk about having difficulty with the timeliness bonus. Gonna speed up a bit. It looks like we're able to kind of maintain the speed just by coasting here. And we've got 2 3/4 miles to go. So the way I got the wipers going is I did look up the, the keys. Didn't need that. I definitely need to be careful. So we're gonna hit 70 soon. But yeah, it looks like we've got a little bit of downhill here. But I'm having a feeling I'm going to be failing this scenario a few times, but maybe not. Maybe let's be positive, right? So, good news is I can see things, because my wipers are now working, because it was a challenge otherwise. So again, it looks like we'll be with each other for an hour and a half as I go down the line here. Probably a very traditional English morning. Rainy, wet. Doesn't look like it's raining too hard, which is always a good thing. So now, okay, I was just not sure if I was suddenly seeing a... I saw the sign pop up, like I don't know if we're going to see a sign for these temporary speed things, or how that's all going to work. Alright, so and then we've got to go 40 in about a mile, so I do want to be careful that I'm not speeding through there. It's just hard to tell. Like if there's workers up there, or what am I seeing? I would imagine it's going to be a lot more obvious. I guess that's actually something in the field that I was seeing. So, looks like trucks are... Alright, we're only half a mile out, so I'm going to start putting on brake 1. Try to do just a gradual slowdown here. I think we're going to have a timeliness problem. I don't understand. I mean, I took off right away. So I'm kind of disappointed that that'll be the case. But now is that... See, I don't know. That was some little yellow thing that said like 34, but I don't know. It was so tiny, it can't possibly be my actual speed, I would think. But again, I don't know for certain. Alright, so we've got a yellow signal, and obviously we've got a stop here as well, so pretty tiny platform. But I'm guessing since we were supposed to be here at 6:15 or 7:16, that's not going to be a good thing. So let's see here. So 0.9 miles. So just want to get through to the platform here. And I'm kind of moving along because we're over time, so... Alright, that should get us there. Alright. So we'll see. And then the next one... 721. Yeah, this is going to be a challenge. I don't think I'm going to break 750, but it's basically just keep picking up passengers. 721, 26, 28. Wait, timeliness penalty. But that's like, I did okay, right? Maybe because we still finished before the end of 717, but... Alright, we can only go 25, so I do need to be careful. But I do want to speed up pretty quickly here too, so... I'll just keep an eye on what we've got. Getting better at moving the control, at least. Alright, and then we'll be at 40 over there. If I go to power 2. Will that be reasonable? So this just goes down to one track here. So yeah, power 1 really definitely puts us in a pretty tight bind there. Alright, so we'll get moving here. Still keeping an eye out for these temporary speed reductions. Like I said, I would hope... See, so there's another one of those little yellow things, but obviously, since there's the second one, because like that says 30, but like the other one said 34, so I don't think that's like speed, because the speed at least seems to be... Oh. I think that was the signal to help me know that it was green, that we passed over. Alright, so a little less than a mile to the next station. These are definitely nice, nice runs, which I would expect in Europe. Never been over there, certainly never been on a train. Well, I shouldn't say I've never been over there. I've never been in England. I've been in Germany, but never taken a train. Alright, so we're going to have to slow down to 15. Alright, so I assume again that's telling me it's green, that nice little sound there. And then we've got to get down to 15. There's the sign for that. So I think we're going to be okay. Yep. So good news there. Get ourselves moving a little quicker, because every little bit helps here. Just want to be careful that I don't go too fast, but if I'm not on power 1, clearly it's slowing down pretty quickly. So I think I can go to like 15.5 before I need to worry about it. And then I'll slow myself down just by turning the power off, as you can see. So definitely a nice slow roll into the station here. I wonder if it's because it's residential and people just want it quieter, or what the situation is. Alright, so 0.6, we just got to get on the platform here. 0.4. 0.2, I'm thinking. So yeah, I think if we're not careful, it's actually, that's not the platform there, so. Alright, no. Yeah, see, I think we're going to be behind now. Oy. Well, we will try it. That's all I can do. And I guess some of these are just get through them and then maybe replay them other times and get a little bit better. It might still be okay because it looks like the time ends before 7:22. But yeah, the next one's 7:26, and right now it's telling me I'll be there in 7:20, but see, it's 7:25, and like I'm already kind of late. Yeah, there's a lot of signals there. It was definitely pretty tricky to be able to tell. Wow. Alright, we've got 2.5 miles, and in theory we can go 90. To me, if I was going to be a terrible scenario developer, yeah, I would absolutely put a speed reduction on this segment here somewhere, so I'm going to try to keep an eye out. Now this is 40, but there's an arrow, so I'm assuming I'm going to watch my little gauge. I'm sure there's a name for it other than little gauge. Oh, I see that left line is probably 40, but we're staying on this line. Oh, and I didn't realize the time had already increased, so yeah, I've lost like half a minute already. This is not good. So I probably was able to go 90 a long time ago. But we're slowly getting up to speed there. I see a green light. That is always a good thing. I would prefer not to worry about signals. Obviously yellow on the other route. And so I did rewatch some of the lessons, the training lessons in the academy, and did learn that there are different sounds on the British trains for those light signals, because a lot of times you can't see them, and that way it tells you that you need to be paying attention. So far we've been all green, so we've been lucky, but we are still losing time. I am going as fast as I can. Fellow train going the other way. Alright, now I see yellow, so let's see what that's going to sound like. Well, that's just the signal to make sure that I'm paying attention. So that wasn't the warning about my speed or anything. But it's possible we'll have a red signal coming up, and I've got to get down to 30 here because I assume we're, and I think I do see, oh no, it's yellow, but still. Probably do want to start slowing down because we're coming up there pretty quickly. Oh boy, am I gonna make it? Oh, is this red for me? That would be very bad if it is. Alright, well, I will slow down in time. No, that's red over there. Whew. That was not fun. So, yeah, maybe it's a red signal because they have me switching over there, so obviously they don't want anybody ending up there. I'm not going to speed up, even though I'll be able to here, because I need to stop and let folks off. I think, again, at least I'm somewhat timely here. I think, although I'm gonna, I think, run a little over. I'm a little worried I went too far, but I think I'm okay. Had to hit that brake pretty hard. Alright, so let's see. Next one will be due there at 7. See, we're supposed to depart at 7:26, so I think we're going to get a ding here. This is a tough scenario. Started out behind the 8 ball, and I'm continuing behind the 8 ball. Well, I'll take it if it gives it to me. I don't know why I still got a timeliness thing, but I also had signals that were telling me it was yellow, so obviously there was only so much I could do as well. So yeah, the good news is the ETA is not going up too fast now, because I'm sure, again, they've calculated it from taking off from the platform, so I probably was accelerating a little slower than I should have, so it's kind of torturing me with that. Alright, we're green on our side. We can go 70. Still waiting for these temporary speed reductions, but I've got a long trip. It's probably going to get me right at the end somewhere. It's going to be really, really sad and disappointing. But yeah, those are those double signals that give me a good amount of detail. Alright, so we're half a mile away. Definitely want to start slowing down, because we are coming up on this pretty quickly now. It's a little bit more realistic for our approach. So I'm trying to be a good engineer, keep everybody happy. I'm sure they've all got to get to work on this rainy day, although they all look like they're dressed for the beach or something too, so hard to tell. So we'll see here, because the back car is not on the platform yet. Now I think we're good. Alright. Yeah, I don't know that I can start any faster than I am. I typically started in power 1 to get rolling, but to try to make up some time, I'm doing this power 2 thing. Alright, 7:32 for Kings Norton. And then 7:35. Beware, there's a TSR ahead, so be vigilant. Okay, so I did not get much of a bump there, just +2. Alright, so we've got a mile and a half. I keep track of things. I'm going to speed up, though, because otherwise I'm really going to be late. Although with the TSR, I'm not sure that I have a choice. And I'm assuming that 20, I mean, it could be that 20 is the speed reduction. I guess we'll see. Because if it puts it on there, that would be great. I just don't know that it does. Alright, so we're about half a mile. Just seeing something there, so I want to be careful. Yeah, it looks like there's something there. Alright, what's the speed? Or is it just warning me? I think it's just warning me. Okay, so we've got like blinker, because there's no numbers. I see, is that what tells me? And then I have to hit 20 up there? I'm just so confused. Because like it hasn't changed. See, I think it's just telling me that it's going to be 20, and then I have to be 20. Like where I hit the first worker is what I heard. So like now I have to be 20. And there we go, they're working on the side. So that makes sense. Okay, we've got the little tone for the green signal. And then at some point we'll be able to go 90. Alright, so at least it does appear it's on the map. So I've learned, but it probably in the course of learning means I was unable to stay on time, because I definitely lost time with what I was doing. And then I can only go up to 40 here. Again, probably a track change. So I do want to be careful here, because that's coming up before we know it. So there we go, we're 40, and we're merging onto that track, and oh, I've got to stop here. Silly me. Kind of missed that part. I was just going to barrel on through. Been some very sad people. If that isn't an out-and-out failure, I'm sure it's pretty darn close to being pretty bad. Alright. So... yeah, I'm pretty sure we're behind now. So, can I turn off my wipers now? It's not letting me. I'm hitting the key like normal. So, don't know. I guess it won't hurt to have them on. There we go, now we're losing time. Not a ton, but we are losing some. And I should be 45 there, so... I don't think I'll exceed that by then. And then at some point we'll be able to go 60, but we've got almost a mile to the Bourneville platform, like Jason Bourne. I don't know if that's... probably not, but... oh, that's like a... I guess I saw the tunnel on the map, but I don't know why it surprised me. That's what I'm looking forward to on some of the US ones. There's some crazy tunnels there. There's something that's like 7,800 feet long. So, oh, there's like a spur coming in from the side there. Alright. So no TSR, but of course we've got to stop here, so we don't want to come in too much, because that will probably make it uncomfortable. I haven't ever gotten a penalty for that, but it's always the first time, and I'd prefer it not being anytime soon. And maybe they just don't give you a penalty, they just don't ride with you in the future. I don't know. Alright, I'm going to try a slightly different approach here. Let's see how this works. I think that'll be okay. Yeah, I'm still almost stopping too quickly. So I've got to get 0.3. Alright. Yeah, we're like a whole minute behind. Not good. Not good. But obviously I can only do what I can do. So at this point, because I think to unlock or to get an achievement on these scenarios, you have to score at least 750. Unless I suddenly start doing something incredible. I got a little bit back. I guess because we were supposed to be done at 7:37, so... guess I'll hit things right away until it tells me that I'm spinning wheels or something. I don't know. Or until I hear some weird sound that I've never heard before. I guess it's good I didn't turn the wipers off because it's still raining. Not quite sure why I thought it wasn't, but anyway. So everything's about a mile away. Sully Oak. So you can kind of look around a little bit. Enjoy the scenery. So we should have some sort of a signal indicator. Yeah, now we're going to pass that. And there we go, ding. So I saw it in the center now. So I'm going to keep moving along here. Back off the brake a bit. And this should hopefully get me. So yeah, we're like a whole minute behind here. Yeah, stopping way too fast. I think the next station is like 7:39. Yep. Maybe it adjusts it a bit for the timeliness or something. So maybe with the TSRs, it gives me a break, and as long as I keep going along, maybe I'll satisfy the need. I don't know. I guess we'll find out here. Nope. Wow, that hurt. Yeah, I don't know how you catch up. So, Birmingham, the university in Birmingham, I assume. So, I mean, the good news is I'm definitely kind of getting used to this train. Now I know what the TSR signs look like, because I don't know if it's going to warn me again for one in the future. That scared me when I saw that train. I'm like, you better not be on my track. But just the way we were facing it made it look a little bit like it was, but clearly it was not, so. So still 0.6 miles here. Alright, so at this point I think we can do what we need. There we go. So I think we're gonna finish way in the negative. So as I said, I don't know that it's gonna let me, because yeah, we're supposed to have departed at 7:40, and then 5 ways, 7:43. So yeah, we're going all the way up till 8:32, so we've got another, goodness. Yeah, I don't know how if there's even a way to do it. There probably isn't a way to catch up. just kind of what I found. Like, once you're behind, you're behind. It's pretty challenging to make up time, which once again makes total sense with train timetables, because they're, you know, so I'm thinking 7:40, 3:15 is where we were supposed to be, but obviously that's not what will happen. Alright, so the signal must be green that we can't see. There we go. It is. Long way to go. We got a tunnel, and it looks like maybe we start going downhill some. So, gotta keep an eye on all that. I don't know if that 30 mile an hour is one of those temporary signal things or not. But I think I'll start slowing. Maybe right by the tunnel there. So I think it shouldn't take much to get me down to 30. So there you go. We'll back off a bit. Once again, I think because we're doing something with the tracks, we're going to get a signal indicator here. Oh, we should have, but we didn't, clearly. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So far behind. Yeah, I'm just not sure what I could have done differently. Oh yeah, that's not helping anything. Let's start speeding on top of everything else. Because, yeah, we're going downhill. I forgot about that part. Well, that's a big wall or something here. Yep, just a wall. So there's a green signal up there somewhere. Just past the station, looks like. Alright, so there we go. Get that done. Then we can go 30. Yeah, I thought I still feel like I'm doing well. I just don't know how I could have stayed on time. Wow. We're like getting higher and higher penalties on top of things. I don't know, maybe next station I'll just try on Power 4 right away and just have it set that way so when it releases, that's where I'm at. I just don't know that that's gonna work well. Because I would think there would be wheel spin, but maybe not. Maybe that's the trick. So part of what this now becomes is a learning curve, because clearly it's not going to be a good result. Just trying to keep an eye on that speed so it doesn't get too high. Kind of going up and down. Alright, so between the tunnels, we're going to need to be at 20. So let me slow down here. Not quite sure why we need to be at 20 here. Doesn't look like we're changing anything, but I guess then we're going down to 10, so I think this is the Birmingham platform that we had ended other scenarios at, so I think that's what we're running into here. Although I would think that would be a very large platform other than what I'm seeing there, but maybe because of the speed we've got, it'll be different. Although this does look alright, so we're down enough. Still speeding up, but yeah, this is the same Birmingham that I pulled into before. So yes, and we are going to get to continue past here. They're giving us confidence on the train. I don't know why I just didn't tap the brake. Because I'm foolish. That's probably the easiest way to explain it. Whoops. Definitely didn't want brake 2. I almost feel like if I could figure out, maybe I should try to figure out the keys, because I'm doing this with a mouse. So when I stop next time, I'll check that. See if I can adjust and accelerate the speed that way, because I would think that would give me some more granular options, but maybe that'll be more difficult. I don't know. So, not quite sure how we're supposed to stop here. I'll just kind of do it at the position that we're supposed to. Because we're clearly on the platform, but I'm not quite sure why the green is the way it is. So let me check the keys while we're waiting. Alright, so I have found it. It's the A and the D keys. So A moves it up, D moves it down. And that'll be easier than sorry about that delay. That would be easier than what I've been doing. Now the wipers are supposed to be the V key, but clearly they're ignoring me. So, I don't know. But yeah, I'm thinking like, yeah, we're supposed to leave at 7. Well, maybe we'll catch back up here. Because we might leave by 7:51. That timer's getting close. So maybe this will give us a little bit of an opportunity. Next stop will be Aston. Alright, well, obviously it doesn't think we're on time, so just need to be careful here. So again, we can only go 10. We'll be out in the rain before we know it. So even though I can't turn off the wipers, not a big issue. There we go. Then we'll be underground again for a while. But I'm pulling out with him too. Just gotta be careful, because Gonna exceed my speed limit before I know it. Whoop, I already did. Thought for sure I could do it, but obviously not. And at this point, not like it matters. I'm so far behind. It's not great by any stretch. I guess let me do my A and D. I'm not doing that. I'm still using my mouse, because that would probably allow me to be more specific. Alright, so we can get up to 30. We've got that little junction there. Alright, so power 1 just about keeps me where I need to be. So I think that's just telling me where the junction is, but it's not as if it's making me slow down or anything. Alright, and then we get to go to 50. So I think I was on the left side last time. Although, maybe we did climb. I vaguely remember that. But no, I think we were on the left side and then we did climb, but it was next to the entrance there, so. See how this all comes together. Alright. So. Just want to be careful that I don't go too fast. Oh no, I don't have to stop here. We've got... I was panicking a bit. I'm like, I've got to stop in 0.1 miles, and I'm going 40, but we've got a mile and a... So, I could have actually been going much faster. Because then we'll be at 70 before we know it. Yep. There we are. About half a mile to 45, but then we also need to slow down a bit, so we're in the yellow. Don't want to slow down too fast, but obviously want to make sure we're slowed by the time we get there. So, all good. And then we have 0.35 miles till we need to stop. So, we'll coast along for a bit. I think I've been through this area. If not, it looks very similar to someplace I have been through. So, counting down. Alright, we are yellow there. But this should slow me down appropriately. There we go. Alright, so I can't just hold A to have it go through pretty quickly. So let's see, 7. Oh, look at that. I just don't know that we're going to be able to catch up, but alright, we got to go 20. I'm assuming we're going to be turning to the right here, since we can only go 20. So I do need to be careful that I don't blow past this. But yeah, there we go. Just do a little bit of a more reasonable climb here. So that's keeping us at speed, just coasting. But we've got a 1.15 miles gravelly hill. Gravelly hill? Don't know. So we'll go back to that again. Since we can only be at 40, and then we can be at 45. We'll go up. Oh, why not? Let's see, if I go to power 1, we do keep speeding up. Which is not a terrible thing. But yeah, it's just now I don't have my finger on the Q key, because now I'm doing the throttle with keys A and D, so I just do need to be careful. Alright, must be going uphill a bit. Getting close to Gravelly Hill. Looks like as long as we get there by 8, we'll be in great shape. Right now we're running ahead, so I like that. See how this works. 0.8, 0.7, 0.6, 0.5. Alright, well, if we're supposed to be there at 8, we are ahead, which is a wonderful, wonderful thing. Although, how's that work? Supposed to be there at 8 and depart at 8? This is not going to be through. That timer does not seem to be moving fast enough to be done in less than a minute, but maybe it is. I would just be dumbfounded if somehow I still got 750 points, but I know we have a lot of stops. I think we have to go to like 24 steps to get this all done. Yeah, it's not like we're getting that much. Alright, and we're able to get up to 60. It seems like we can be on 4 when we pull out of the station, so... because we're still losing time a little bit. You can see on the ETA, 8:02:43, and we're supposed to be there at 8:02. So, I think 8:02:30. I think that's the timetable we're really supposed to be on. So, see if we can make any or enough time up. We are making up a little bit. It's slowly falling back, but obviously we're going to have to slow down soon too, so. Can't come in too crazy hot, or once again we're going to have really upset folks. think this will work. Just really paying attention, so hope you guys are enjoying the view and just being able to hear the sounds. So it's not that I'm not wanting to talk, I'm just definitely trying to stay focused, because now I feel like we can actually make up time here. But let's see. So yeah, 23, so not quite 24, but again, getting to 750 I think would take a crazy thing, because yeah, I'm only Chester Road platform. Oh, I see, probably because I have this up. Alright, so 804, see 804.30, and alright, but now it just flipped. When we went past that signal, I'm like, we're half a minute late, but now we're actually ahead a bit. We'll see if we stay that way, because it's creeping up, because we're not at 60. But obviously we can't be at 60, because acceleration doesn't work that way. Alright, so Chester Road. Coming in a little hot, but maybe not. It might work. Let ourselves creep in there a bit. Because yeah, now we're going too slow. We're peeling off time here, which we obviously would prefer to not be doing. So about 8 seconds later than I think we were supposed to be here. So hopefully, because I assume we're okay, like hopefully it won't give me any kind of penalty. I'm assuming there's got to be another TSR. Maybe there isn't. Maybe that's the only place they're doing work. So, yeah, seems like maybe my only hope will be that I get to 0, but let's see. Alright, Wild Green. Yeah, if I knew these towns or cities, I guess it would be maybe a bit more interesting, but I do not know them. So I'm just kind of enjoying doing my job. So 806.45, we're basically right on. I'm sure that's going to change, and we're going to go up a minute, or a second. Oh, we gained some time. So we'll start slowing down just to make sure. But I think we're doing as well as could be expected. Drift in a little bit quicker, because otherwise I think we're gonna run the risk of slowing down too quickly. So yeah, we're just drifting in here. Just not sure if we should be coming in faster or what's the best solution there. So, because we are ending up, we're losing a bit of time here. So it's definitely getting tighter. 809. But yeah, the last one's going to be 832, so We're less than 30 minutes from the end here. So unless I blow something with a signal or a TSR, we should be able to finish the scenario, but we're not going to get an achievement for doing so. Alright, so this has got a bit of a way. But yeah, I think I have enough time today that I might be able to immediately jump into the next scenario, which means that we'll get a couple episodes out for you, which should get those who are excited about this more interested. And, you know, again, my goal is, now that I've spent a couple $100 on additional routes, kind of need to play this a little bit more. So at this point, I think we're going to have a 3-game rotation pretty solidly, with and maybe technically 4-game if I ever pull ETS into it, but yeah, the 2 truck sims, farm sim and train sim. Don't know that I'm going to show iRacing at any point, because like I said, I don't feel I'm good enough for that. Plus it's a little bit more challenging to show that effectively. That's certainly not something I'd be able to talk during, so unless I did voice recording over the top of it, but that would be more complicated, and as I said, I'm not that good, so. Alright, well, this is a pretty cool looking station. I like the green and black decor that they've got. It's pretty nice. Alright, we're getting there. Open those doors. Power us back up, although we can only go 35. But yeah, see, we're slowly trickling. We were like 15 seconds behind, now we're 23 seconds behind. So again, I think we're going to get timeliness bonuses, but they're probably going to start creeping down. It's interesting because our train isn't any longer, obviously. It's the same length, the whole route. We're not adding cars on, we're not coupling up with anything, but like, obviously, like at the Birmingham station, we waited a lot longer. So it's just interesting how in some places you're waiting just barely a minute, other places you're waiting 2-3 minutes. So again, I just need to be careful that I don't speed through this. Alright, and then we'll be able to go 45 and then 55. Look at that. So I think at this point, yeah, we can really get moving. So it'd be nice to find a way to gain some time. I just don't know that that's possible. So let's see, power 1 keeps us about equal. Green signal sound. I'm learning. So, alright, so we are actually under 813. So that is a good thing. We get to go a little faster here in a moment for just a brief spurt, and then we'll have to slow down again right away. So we'll speed up a bit. And then we'll start slowing down because we're about a quarter mile out. I think that's about what we need to do to make that all work. But maybe not, because obviously we are kind of crawling in here. Time is slowly ticking up, so it assumes we would come in faster than this, I'm imagining, is what that's telling me. Alright, and that should get me where I need to be. Alright, so we were under 20 seconds though, so we did improve. But yeah, 4 more stops, we'll be in danger of having a positive number. I certainly was not thinking that was going to be possible. I just figured it would be how bad negative would we be, but quite pleased. Ooh, just 38 though. So we are starting to slough off some here. So we'll see, it's telling me 8:15:15, we're almost a minute behind, but then again, it seems like when we pass the signal, like then time changes. So yeah, it dropped down, but not enough to get us on the other side of it. I don't think we'll be exceeding 55 before the full train gets past the 60-mile-an-hour sign. We are not, so I will just leave the throttle pegged. Didn't even get to 40. And then again, if I can get myself close there, I might be able to keep eking out a little bit, and I think doing the throttle with the keys gives me some finer grain of control. So that definitely does help. But yeah, at this point, I don't even think we're in danger of speeding before we have to slow down again. Alright, so a quarter mile out at 60, and we're hitting the brake. I think that's far too little. So hopefully we'll... getting a little nervous here, because we are plowing through here, but I think we're going to be okay. Wow. That was almost bad. Alright. A little over, well, exactly 15 seconds. Again, now we're about 9 minutes from the end of our run. So let's see, hopefully we'll at least be back up by 43 for our timeliness. It says penalty, but it's giving us a plus number, so I'll call it my timeliness bonus. There we go. Now it did say bonus. I swear it said penalty before, even though it was giving me a positive number. But if I get 2 more of those, that would be 86, so I'd be up ahead. But we'll see how it all goes. So now if it could drop, but it didn't when we went through the signal there. That's interesting. Better not keep my finger too far away from the AWS signal, because that's the last thing we need, is to have the emergency brakes engage. But yeah, now we're a long way away. We're almost... I don't know, we're too far up, is all I can say, so I'd like it to be different. Alright, so about 0.33 miles at 60 with brake 2. Let's see how that all works out here. Oh, and we've got a 15-mile-an-hour TSR coming up, so Oh, but that is showing up, as we said, so that's a good thing. Alright. So I don't think we're going to get the 43. Alright, I think I'm only going to put myself on power 3, because we can only be 15. But yeah, now we were almost 30 seconds behind when before we were 15, so might not be such an exciting bonus this time, but we should get some bonus. There's some track maintenance. Alright, so it did warn us. But 2.5 miles, wow. Got a ways to go, but then once we get past our 15, then we should be. I guess I can go a little quicker, because I don't have to be 15 till later, but I think again that's just going to create a problem for me. Because yeah, I think it's basically where there's people standing. So there we go. We've got a little bit of track maintenance. And then thing is, it's like overlapping information again. I guess it's 60 and then 90. So let's move along, because now we've got over 2 miles to go. But that, oh, looks like there's a TSR there, 10. So it did say between here and Shetstone. It didn't say there was just one. It just said there's maintenance, so we'll have to keep an eye out on this one, because, yeah, that's like 3/4 of a mile away. So I can't go too fast. I think we're okay. I wonder if those signals are a certain distance away. They probably are to some degree, but I'm not entirely sure, so. Because the challenge is here. Alright, I keep thinking that sign is it, but no, that's just the warning, and I think this next one's still another warning, and then we finally get to it up there. So be down to 10 by the time we hit that. So there we go. So they're doing some bridge maintenance, it looks like. So yeah, doing the keys, I can at least like tap the brake and keep myself from going too fast and go right back up. Instead of slowing down for excessive amounts of time. I was gonna say, we've got a long way to go at 10 miles an hour here still. Although, we're moving along a decent clip here, so I better brake one more time. I don't want to get any penalties. Alright, so still a mile to go. Alright, green signals. So everything's looking pretty exciting. I don't remember if this is the last platform. It may be. 823. I think we've got one more after this. Because I think 824 was when we were supposed to stop at wherever we were at, so. Even though we'll be stopping at 824, it looks like. Just the way it's working, but... Alright, and we set it about 0.33. I started slowing down, so... And then that seemed to work. So I will give that a shot as I continue to try to fine-tune my ability to stop this train appropriately. Because, yeah, once I'm down to 15, like, I know I can stop that at, like, 0.2 miles with, you know, and nothing else really happening, so there we go. So that'll get us to stop there. Alright, and I think we've got one more. Oh, two more. Oh, wow, so we gotta go to 832. Why did I think 824? I don't know. Don't know why I thought that, but I have been corrected. So two more stops. Yeah, I'm just curious how different. I mean, they've got to be different, like different stopping capabilities for different things. And, you know, the scenarios, again, like if I'm in the US and I think there's something where I've got like a 170 car train, I would think that takes a long time to stop. Where these little commuter trains, you know, you can start and stop pretty quickly. Alright, so we should still have a timeliness bonus the way this is laying out, but we are getting really close again to a problem. So we're almost 40, we're over 45 seconds. Or almost 45 seconds, I guess. But it has stayed rainy this entire run, which once again I'm sure is not unique to England. Sorry, I was hitting the wrong key, so I panicked a bit. Alright, power 1 is still slowing me down. Power 2 is barely speeding me up. Power 3 will probably speed me up too much, but we've got 2.2 miles, so I want to get much closer to my top speed here, because I've actually got track I can make things up on. Alright, power 2 is what I want. Now I gotta be careful. Alright, power 1 is now... Whoop, 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 whoop. 55 coming up here. I did not see that. That was almost a problem. Now, again, what is that speed? 60? It better be. I'll be very disappointed. Okay, now it changed. I don't know why it, like, shows it the way it does, where it's, like, doubled up. Alright, so we go a bit faster, then we have to slow down again. Okay, that'll give us a good Good motion. Just gotta be careful not to go too quickly. Probably didn't need to go to brake 2. I don't know what I was doing there. Alright. So now we're 0.2 miles away, so let's not go too crazy. So we definitely want to be down. Alright. So we're good there. But then within 0.2 miles, we've got to be down to 20. So we'll start slowing down, because again, I think we're going to change track. Not quite there yet. No, we just got to be slow. That's all. Alright, so that can get us there. We're at least about 30 seconds behind, so we close the gap a bit, which was what my hope was. So I think that's the best I can expect. Oh, looks like we've got a platform in the center here. I think. Yeah, this fence probably ends. Yeah, there we go. Alright, so we'll get ourselves in here. And at about 0.3, we'll put on brake 2, and that should hopefully not cause us a problem. Ooh, super close, super close. Alright. Well, again, only 20 out of here. So, but yeah, we were, what, 32 seconds behind our preferred or our perfect ETA. One more stop. But if we can get a positive here and a positive there, not much, but it's something. At least we're not finishing in 0, hopefully, so let me keep an eye out so we don't go flying past 20. And alright, it does look like we have a 60 coming up, thank goodness, because I was like, if we got to go 20 the whole way between these platforms, that's going to be a long time. Alright, so this looks like it's kind of level. We're not speeding up when we're just coasting. We're actually slowing down a bit, so we can probably move it up a bit. Because, yeah, we're within 14 seconds. That's pretty nice. Be nice if we could be closer, but beggars can't be choosers on that. Just lost a second. Don't understand. And now we'll gun it and get ourselves to Litchfield Trent Valley and be done. Sadly not done well, but done. So again, at 60, we can be 0.33 miles out. This thing's just yellow. So it's of course giving us warning because we're going crazy heading into a yellow. But I am again trying to do everything I can to make this a really good run. So that should give us a good arrival here. Hit the brakes a little harder because it is red, so I don't want to go by that. That would be a disastrous way to end this. So It is past the platform a bit, but not a ton, so we're not going to push it. There we go. And so 25 seconds behind, but we should be good. I believe that is our last task. It is. So I'm sure we'll then get told we're complete and someone's taking the train, or however that goes, however they're going to end this scenario. So I'm glad I got it done on my first attempt. Didn't do great, but good run despite the TSRs. It's time to change cabs and get ready for the return. This train now becomes the 840 2R21 back to Redditch. So I don't know if that means that's my next scenario or what. So lots of information, but yeah, so these killed us, but don't know how you get 750 on that, but one of these days I will try that. So thanks for tagging along. I'll see you next time.